Hello, how's it going? Zach D Productions here, and I'm here for an album review for you guys. This is not going to be a long review or anything. I'm just going to give my quick thoughts because, well, there's not really much to say about this album, but I still do think it's a step up from their last album, but I'll go ahead and get into that. So this will be my short review for The Devil Wears Prada's new album, Color Decay. Now, I've heard one of the singles from this album out of curiosity prior to the album's release, entitled Time, and I was actually pretty amazed how much I was really enjoying this song. I mean, it's a song that I've returned to quite a few times already, and that's not something that I really expected with more recent Devil Wears Prada material because, well, as many of you know, this is a band that kind of did fall off for me over time. They kind of fell off for me around like 2017 or something like that. But I will say that this album is surprisingly not bad. I think it's solid for what it is. It's a lot better than The Act. That is something that I will say. I mean, I guess you could say that they got their act together. You know, if you've seen my review for The Act, you guys know that I don't like that album at all. I still don't like it. It's really hard to describe my complaints with that album. I guess it just sounds like a B-side album from The Devil Wears Prada, and there's just no creativity to it, I don't think. At least the creativity isn't as strong as it was on this album, Color Decay, which I might even say is The Devil Wears Prada's best album since either Dead Throne or 818. Yeah, I do think it's maybe among one of their best albums, to be honest. Now, that's not really saying much because there is still some songs on the album that I'm not too crazy about, but there is some pretty good stuff on the album. Like I said, Time. Always really enjoyed that chorus and the haunting melodies of the chorus as well. And just the overall haunting nature of the song, I really like it. It has a depressing sound to it, which, you know, I do find fascinating. You know, it's a pretty good track. Maybe one of their best songs, I don't know. This might even go down as one of my favorite Devil Wears Prada songs. It honestly does remind me of a song that I would have liked back in my first year of college. And I think that's why I do somewhat appreciate this album, because this sounds like a Devil Wears Prada album that would have been released in the early 2010s. And that was around the time when I was getting into The Devil Wears Prada, like around 2015 or something like that. And I could totally see myself really loving this album whenever, if it would have came out then. You know, because that's when I was really into The Devil Wears Prada. And I think Broken is another good song. That's probably another favorite of mine on the album. You know, I think the one thing that The Act was missing that this album has, now that, you know, I look back at the Act album in hindsight and I really compare both the albums, is I think The Act was lacking that those ambient elements that this album actually has. And I think that's something that The Devil Wears Prada, you know, is known for. Like, they're known for their haunting melodies and stuff, and that's not really something that The Act really had. I mean, it was just boring blandness, in my opinion. I mean, if you've seen my review and my videos about it from back in the day, you guys know that I even called it the worst album of the year it came out. But this album here, Color Decay, definitely a step up. And I knew it was going to be a step up because, well, not only did I think Time was a really good song as one of the singles, you know, and because I like that song, it's at least something that I enjoy from this album, right? So I'm like, okay, there's no way that this album could be worse than The Act. And it's not. It's actually better. But also, because I don't know how they could make a worse album than The Act. So this album here is definitely a step up for The Devil Wears Prada and definitely a step in the right direction. But yeah, pretty good album overall. Now, am I going to be listening to this album a lot? Probably not all the songs or most of the songs, but some of the songs I can see myself going back to, such as Broken and Time and a few other songs maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's not a bad album for what it is. If you like The Devil Wears Prada, you probably will like this album. So for a score, now it's interesting because for a score, I don't want to try to be super biased with my score for this album, so maybe an 8 out of 10 or a 7.5 maybe, I don't know. One of those scores for me I think works. Like I said, it's definitely better than the act, so let me know what you guys think. I think this album, Color Decay by The Devil Wears Prada, pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be the best album of the year, at least in my opinion, but still, for what it is, pretty good. So let me know what you think of the new Devil Wears Prada album. So on that note, thanks for watching, have a nice day, and take care.